If you have to do a end of year state exam or test for your homeschooler, this video is for you. Hey everyone, my name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and today I'm going to give you 5 tips for getting ready for the state exam or homeschool test that you might have to take. There are a lot of states in the US that have to do this. Now there are some lucky ones who don't have to do this, but if you are in a state like mine, then you'll have to take some kind of test. And I have some tips for you to get through that and to make it a little bit easier. Before I get into the video, make sure that you hit the like and the subscribe button, and down below in the description box I have our free Facebook homeschool group where several thousand homeschool moms and myself are all there, and we like to talk about curriculum and anything else that's going on in the homeschool world. And that is free for you to join. Just hit the link and I will get you in the group as soon as possible. So this is our going into 7th year homeschooling. So this is going to be the end of our 6th year right now at the time of this recording. And I've lived in 2 states where we have been homeschooling. So we lived in Missouri before, and we didn't have to do any sort of testing while we were in Missouri. But when we moved to the Carolinas, that changed. And I remember the first year that we moved here being completely terrified of this state test. And when I learned more about it, that really calmed my fears, because I think what my biggest fear was is that I had to turn this thing in and people were going to see these test scores and they were going to be judging my kids based on this one test that they took. And especially because these tests are not based off of homeschool things, they're based off of what this test thinks all children should know within that grade. And with my kids not being in public school, I was afraid they wouldn't know what they were, some of the things that they were going to be asked, and then they would be really stressed out. And then, if for some reason that they, did really bad on fractions or something, they were going to come knock on my door. I think that's what I was really afraid of. But now that I understand more about this test and more about my state, I feel much better about it. Let me give you some tips to get through this and to make the test a little bit easier for your kids. So first, IXL. This is one thing we do every single year. So when our math curriculum is done, what my kids do is we get on this website called IXL. Now, when I was teaching and when my oldest kid was in elementary school, he used IXL as a supplement to what they were learning in school. So a lot of these problems are the same problems that kids are going to be doing in their grade in public school. So it makes a really good tool for them to use to go in and get some extra practice before the test. So my oldest hasn't finished his math. He's got, I think, 2 more weeks. And my youngest has already finished, and he finished several weeks ago. And he's been doing IXL for about 2 weeks now. And it just helps him not only review all the concepts that he learned in teaching textbooks this year, but there may be some things that he hasn't seen before that he'll go in and just kind of learn. So IXL is a really great tool to use. It's like $9 or $10 a month for each subject. And I believe that they recently added several subjects. I know that they added Spanish. I think they have history, social studies, and science too, I think. I don't know about language arts, but we mainly just use it for math because that's always, one of the big 2 is math and language arts. So using it for math has been really, really helpful for my kids right before test. So it's a really great way to prep. So another tip for test prepping is these Spectrum worksheets that are on Amazon. Now these are workbooks that are between $9 and $15 usually, and you can get them and they will cover a lot of the things that generally public schoolers cover for each grade. So you can find them for every subject, for every grade level, and They typically don't have too many lessons in there, but it's a really great like overview tool that you can use if you're going to do a week or two of test prep. Highly recommend using those. Workbooks can be a great tool. I know a lot of people hate workbooks, but workbooks can be a really, really great tool for this type of stuff, because if they have to be tested on it, they need to be familiar with it and comfortable with it before they take the test, and it really reduces stress for the kids. So the next thing I'm going to recommend, number 3, is the test prep packages on the actual testing website. So we use Academic Excellence, and they have all kinds of tests there for everyone who has to take these yearly tests. And one of the things that we have been using the last couple years, we've been paying like for the $5 or $10 test prep. And basically it's a small condensed version of the test to get them kind of like in the right frame of mind. It helps them kind of see some of the problems that they're going to see on the test, and then they kind of know what to work on. So, and one of the great things about teaching textbooks is if you still have your subscription active, because it's active for like a certain amount of time, I think it's 12 months, they can go back in and they can find those concepts that maybe they need to work a little bit more on and go back. So I love the CAT test prep workbooks or the worksheets that you can get. I believe you can get them in print and online. We just do the online test because it's just so much easier. We get the test results almost immediately, and I can just print it out and I can keep it on file on my computer. It's just so much easier to do it that way. And that way the kids kind of get in the right frame of mind. And I like that they can kind of see some of the material beforehand. So that is a big stress reliever as well for my kids. So number 4, pick a date. So this is about where we're getting into right now because it's April and we take our yearly test every single April. Pick a date and put it on the calendar. And don't make it like a big thing. Let the kids know ahead of time, because you don't just want to spring this kind of thing on them. You want them to have some time to adjust to it, even if it's just, you know, a week in advance. Tell them like, hey, next week we're going to go ahead and take this and we're just going to get it over with. Don't make a big deal about it. Kids can really get stressed out over these type of things. My kids stress because they want to do really well on it. Like, I feel like I have a feeling that they think that, you know, me and their dad are going to be disappointed if they don't do well on this test, which is, you know, we try to really assure them that, you know, it's okay. We don't care how you do on this test. We care how you're doing here in the schoolroom. We don't care how you're doing there on a standardized test that we don't even have to turn in. If you don't have to turn this in, I highly recommend that you explain this to your kids, because that relieves a lot of stress and pressure as well when they know that it's not going to be seen by people at the state. So make sure that you do that. And just a bonus tip, if you yourself are really stressed out, it's going to show to your kids. Kids really pick up on this, especially with their parents. If you are stressed out about this test, they are going to be stressed out about it. So as much as possible, try to remain calm and like it's not a big deal. Especially when your kids are younger, try to act like this is not a big deal, that it's just something that they have to do, and you know, they're going to see this, you know, however often you have to do it, whether it's every year, every other year, whatever your state requires. For us, it's every year. So this is a yearly thing for us. If it's a yearly thing for you, just make it, you know, like it's a normal thing. It's not a big deal. And the last tidbit is have a like a special snack or a meal. Like, make this like a special day where they get something cool, like go get donuts that morning, or have like some really cool special snack that they don't get all the time. One of the things, and I've mentioned this in another video, I might link that down below as well. One of the things that we always do when the kids have their yearly test is I always put out a snack while they're taking the test. So they can be munching on goldfish or gummy bears or something, you know, while they're doing the test, because that's something kind of different that they don't get to do during normal school time. And I don't know what it is, but like when they have like a special snack like that, it kind of keeps them calm. I don't know what it is. but it makes them feel special, and it's something different, and it kind of lightens the mood a little bit, which is a great thing. So keep that in mind. Keep the atmosphere really light if you need it. I have ambience music and videos on my channel where you can go in and use those, put them on your TV, make things real calm in the house. You know, break out the essential oils in the diffuser. Try not to stress out too much about these yearly tests if you're in a state like mine. They are not nearly as big a deal as people make them. And especially when you're a new homeschooler, this can be super stressful and overwhelming as a parent. And what happens is when we get super stressed and overwhelmed, your kids get super stressed and overwhelmed. So make sure that as a parent, you stay calm, cool, and collected. You're fully prepared. They're fully prepared. And the key here is the more prepared you and your kids both are, the easier this is going to be to get through. So if you are in my state, North Carolina, then you don't turn this test in. This is not something that you turn in. Now, every state is going to be different, and I need to like really hone in on that. Every state is different, and I will leave a link down below in the description box for every single state, and HSLDA is the place to go for that. So HSLDA has a link, and you can just click on your state and they will give you all the information that you need about the state testing and things like that. Now, every state who does testing will have specific tests that they approve of. So like for my state, I think there's like 15 or so tests that you can take, and I believe they just added a couple more. So you really need to look at, do you need to test? And if you do, what tests do you need to take? Now for my state, I felt so much better when I found out that these tests are not for the state. Yes, you have to take them and have them on record. However, you do not have to turn them in. What they're actually for is the parents to look at to see if there's any learning gaps. And then that way you have some kind of an assessment to see, oh, my child needs to work more on reading comprehension, or, oh, we need to really work on multiplication. That type of thing. It is not for them to look at it, judge your kids, and say, okay, these kids need to go back to public school and come knock on your door. That's not what this is for, at least in my state. So once I found that out, I felt so much better, and my kids felt better, and we were able to just take these tests for what they were. And, you know, we kind of make a little thing of it every year. So hopefully that gives you guys some great tips to get through this testing season. And we're getting ready to head into ours as well over the next few weeks. I'm not looking forward to it, but you know, it's one day out of the whole year that we just got to get through. So that's the way I look at it. Usually we do one child one day and one child the next day, or if they get done fast enough, we get them both done at the same day. So we'll see how it goes for us. I will let you guys know on Instagram how it's going. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and happy homeschooling.